Hi, my name is Mackenzie Robinson, and I want to talk to you about steroids today. Steroids are a really controversial topic right now, and we've heard a lot about it. It's all over our media, and we even had a student talk to us about it in our class recently about the cons of steroids. And what I want to talk to you about is the positives of steroids and what the legality of steroids could bring to our culture and to our athletes. Um, so far, we've heard a lot about the negative health effects of steroids and what they're doing to our athletes. But let's look at it from a different standpoint. The majority of athletes that take steroids are NFL players, Major League Baseball players, cyclists. Those are the three main that we've really heard about a lot of steroid use being rampant throughout that sport. Um, and those three sports in general are very dangerous. Um, think about the amount of times you've read the news and seen that a athlete has dropped dead while playing a sport. It's pretty uncommon to hear that in the news, right? Either that's happening and they're not telling us, or that just doesn't happen. And I think it's the latter. And that's because we have built up steroid use to be this very unhealthy, very like damaging, very deathly drug. And the fact is, it's really just mainly a performance enhancer. And we've built it up to be such a dangerous thing in the eyes of the media because we're so scared it's going to catch on and everyone's going to start using it. But the thing is, playing the sport is sometimes just as dangerous as taking steroids. There's an NPR article about steroid use in the media and the legality of steroid use, and a man named Norman Foss, who is a professor of pediatrics and bioethics at the University of Wisconsin, talks about how sometimes the sport itself is more dangerous than taking steroids. He said, you have just as much a chance of getting hurt by stepping onto a baseball field than you do by taking steroids. And that's true. You do not really hear that much about people, athletes, ending up in the hospital because of steroids. And that's because the main problems that are associated with steroids are um, irrational anger, pimply skin, losing hair, things like that. And those are very small things, small health risks that associated with steroids. Let's also think about how much these major athletes are getting paid to do their sport. Police officers have a risk of dying every single day that they're on their job. Firemen, deep sea fishermen have just as much of a chance as dying in their job every day, and they are not getting paid nearly as much as professional athletes are. So if there is a slight risk that comes with taking steroids as a professional athlete, but you are getting paid millions of dollars a year to do this job, I I think there's a balance there, and I think that fans don't come out to a stadium to see mediocre athletes play. There's this whole culture now, like post steroids, like how athletes are not as good as they used to be because we've really cracked down on steroids. And fans aren't going to come pay to see records not being broken or, you know, balls, home runs not being hit or touchdowns not being made. Fans want to pay to come see great athletes at the peak of their athletic ability. Um, Another con that is really talked about is that the level of the playing field is going to be unequal. There's a Forbes article by Chris Smith where he talks about how if we actually legalize steroids, there's going to be this leveling of the playing field, actually. If we put everybody, all professional athletes, on performance enhancers, wouldn't that level things out? Right now, we have some who are on steroids and who have not been caught. We have some who aren't. We have records that we're trying to discount because these people were on steroids. And if we just go ahead and legalize it, we're all going to be on the same playing field again. And we're going to be this new generation of elite, um, amazing athletes and people that uh, fans want to come see and pay to see. And I think all in all, the legalization of steroids is something that is bound to happen. And I think we need to accept it. And I think it's something that will self-regulate because not every sport needs to have steroids. Golf is not a sport that needs steroids. And so I think that we need to think about how the risks that we as a society are putting on steroids by putting so much money into it and everything. And I think that what we need to do is really focus on the small risks that actually come with steroids and how actually legalizing it could advance our society, advance our culture, and most importantly, advance the level of sports that we're playing. So hopefully I changed your mind a bit on the benefits of steroids, and hopefully I just presented a side of steroids that is not normally talked about. Thank you.